Two. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you, I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me, but that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the face. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap, I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. It's UPK until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail, shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie and pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I
like this, we do it like that, and we do it like.
Most High Christ. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatham. Yahweh Shemal Athabah Shem Yahshua. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started on 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, under Commandment General Yohana. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite school, camp, or organization. Today is a significant day. This is a memorial, you understand, of a time in history, you understand, where the Lord delivered us out of the hands of our enemies, you understand, and gave us redemption, or what my modern term would be clemency, gave us redemption and saved us from being destroyed, you understand, utterly and obliterated, annihilated, or brought to extinction by our enemies. You understand? And in this particular time, you understand, of course, we have many holy days or holy days and memorials wherein we had to fight, you know what I'm saying, against our oppressors, you understand, to live on this earth. You know what I'm saying? But this day, we're going to commemorate, you understand, a mighty sister who was led by a mighty man, you know what I'm saying, and kept us from being destroyed in this time period under the Persian army, you understand? And so we're going to get into it. We're going to start off in Esther chapter 1. We're going to start off in Esther chapter 1. You understand? And of course, make sure you're taking notes. Children, y'all quiet down, listen up real good. All right? Sarah, quiet. Be quiet. All right? You can go ahead, Op.
Yes, come now. Esther chapter 1. On the King James Version of the Bible, now it came to pass in the days of Ashurus. This is Ashurus, which reigned from India to Ethiopia, over 120 provinces.
You understand? This is a man named Asuras, right? In the modern day term, they call him King Xerxes.
Oh, no.
You understand? You can go and you can read up about King Xerxes in the history books, or you can open your Bible and you can read about this man who, you understand, who was a ruler over how many provinces?
170 and 20 provinces.
170 and 20 provinces, man. You understand? A very rich and powerful king who had the loyalty of the provinces around him that obeyed him. You know what I'm saying? That he ruled over. You understand? Read on.
That verse 2. That in those days when King Ashurus sat on the throne of the kingdom, which was in Shushan, the palace.
So this is giving you a little background of his, you know, of his kingship and where he ruled, and you know what I'm saying, and at this time his current, you understand, rulership, where he reigned and what land he ruled over.
God.
All right, keep going.
Verse 3. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all the provinces.
Now let me just say this, of course, one thing I want to say before we get right into this scripture, like I brought up to you many times before, the Bible is a book full of records. You understand? So if you ever wonder why the Bible starts off by telling you who this king is or who this man is, whoever it is, you know what I'm saying, and his lineage and the land he came from, you know what I'm saying, and the land that he ruled, and how many lands or how many places he ruled, it was because this is a record book. And so that it was because there was going to be a time where this was going to be taken away from us, and the knowledge of this was going to be taken away from us, and we wasn't going to have the information unless we go and seek it and look for it, sought the information out in the Bible, in the King James 1611 Bible. All right, keep read that 3rd verse again, Salakia.
In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all the princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
All right, so he's throwing a party, man. He's getting ready to throw a big banquet. You know, this is something the king does. That king did. That was a custom of his. He threw a party. He had all high officials. Imagine. You understand, somebody like Donald Trump throwing a party at the Trump Towers. You know what I'm saying? You got all of the high officials coming. You got all of the high grade celebrities. You understand? You got all of the, you know, the best ball players. You got all of the high politicians. You got you know, politicians from other countries coming. You got high officials, high ranking military men. You got all of them coming out there, man, and enjoying this big shindig. You understand, that's going on, and that's what King Asuras was doing, man. Go ahead.
Sir. Verse 4. When he showed the riches of his glory, his kingdom, and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace.
So he made a feast. Okay, keep going. Of course, this is not the Lord. This is not the Lord's feast. This is not PURIM. I don't want y'all to get them mistaken. This is just a feast that King Asuras that he did. That was his custom in his land. Okay, we gonna get to the significance of our feast. But right now we're talking about King Asuras's feast, and King Asuras was not a Jew. King Asuras was a Persian.
That's right.
You understand? He was a heathen man. Go ahead.
The king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace.
Read that one more time, Salakia.
And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both unto the great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace.
He made it to all the great and the small, not even just the high people with the riches and the glory, but even the poor. You understand? Even the small of the people. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 6. Where were white, green, blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen, and purple 2 silver rings, and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of red and blue, white and black marble.
Man, this showing you how glorious and how rich this man was and what he had, man. He did it up.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Be careful with that pencil, brother. Be careful with that pencil. Do that if you could, Baba Kashad. Make sure that he don't fall on that pencil. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And they gave him drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another.
Read that one more time from the top.
And
not the side. Turn around and watch it and pay attention.
Verse 7. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse from one another.
You understand? They had drinks, and like I said, just put your mindset and you seen the biggest party, the biggest festivity going down in the earth. You know what I'm saying? This is what this king was allowing to happen. Go ahead.
And the vessels being diverse from one another, and the royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king.
You understand? The king, was being generous and just giving all his, just throwing this big party and giving out expensive wine and gold and just, something that you'll find out that a lot of rich people do anyway.
That's right.
That's how they get the minds of their people. You know what I'm saying? They show them that sort of, they'll do something like that to make the people feel like, oh, well, I'm your king and then I'm going to take care of you and this and that and look at me and this and that. It's a way to show show off your glory and this and that or whatever. It's like when you host a party, you try to do it big because you want everybody to remember that party. And that's just kind of what he was. He wanted everybody to remember King Asuris. Yeah, I was the one that had this bad party, man. You understand? Yeah, remember that. Go ahead.
Sir. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure.
Damn. Read that again.
Verse 8. Esther 1 and 8. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house, and they should do according to every man's pleasure.
Yeah, man. Allow them to have as much drink they want.
Wow.
You understand? Allow them to have as much fun as they want. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to stop them. Let them get busy. Let them get it in.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
Verse 9. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the woman in royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbonah, Bigtha, Abathar, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that serve in the presence of Ahasuerus the king.
You understand? These men were like eunuchs. These were servants. These were men who, who was responsible for the women. Right? And it's saying right here, it's saying that King Asuris was basically drinking. He was high. It said, read that part again where it talks about him in the spirits.
God, sir. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of the house that they should do according to the man's pleasure.
It's like in verse 10.
Verse 10, sir. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine.
It says when the heart of the king was merry with wine, meaning this brother had some drink in him. He was happy.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? He was so happy. He got a little cocky and was just like, just about to have him some good old fun or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
And he compelled, he commanded Mahoman, Biztha, or Bona, Bigtha, Abatha, Zethar, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with crown royal.
You understand? To do what? To bring his wife in the presence of all of these people. You understand? So he can show her off, man.
Nah.
That's how he had so much drink in him. He was like, tell Vashti to come on out here. I want to show you how bad my broad is.
That's
man.
right, sir.
I want to show y'all how bad my broad is. That's what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Sir. To bring Vashti the queen before the king with crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look upon.
She was fair to look upon. What does that mean? Meaning she was beautiful. You understand? She was beautiful. All right, and he wanted everybody to see. It's like showing. It's like how, of course this is a heathen, but you know what I'm saying. It's like how men today, especially brothers, you know what I'm saying. When you got a bad piece, you trying to let everybody see it a little bit. Out in the world, of course. Our women up in this truth. We don't be trying to show them off, man. Our women are concealed and modest, man.
That's right,
Just
sir.
like the song Captain Nakai K-Lord did. They concealed and modest. You know what I'm saying? But them sisters, you know how brothers be showing off their piece, man. You understand? That's what he was doing. He was showing off his piece. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 12. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains.
She wasn't trying to be obedient to that. She was not taking orders.
No, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Which is to be expected. You know what I'm saying, of a heathen. And the only reason why sisters today think it's okay to be disobedient to their husbands. You understand? Because you follow the ways and the customs of the heathens. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why you understand that what's going to happen is there's a decree that's going to go out. You understand? Go ahead.
Oh, God, sir. Therefore the king was very wroth.
Man, he was mad. Pissed off, man. You understand? He was upset and mad because her insolence. How dare you disobey? We having a good time drinking. I tell you to come out and you don't want to come.
That's right, sir.
No sweat. You understand? Not just I sit up and be quiet, bro. Sit up and be quiet. Go ahead.
And his anger burned in him.
And his anger burned in him, man. He was mad about it, man. Upset. Go ahead.
Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. Verse 14. And the next unto...
I'm sorry, Salaki, verse 13. Salaki, read that one more time.
Verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment.
You understand, the king was used to going to his wise advisors about everything that was going on, even concerning the law. Because every good king has, you understand, wise advisors to make sure, or good leader has wise advisors to make sure they're aware of the law.
That's right.
You understand? And so he consulted with his wise men, you understand, to find out what law this woman was breaking, because he knew she was doing something wrong. And he was just angry as hell. He's like reading through them books. And, is that something? It's something she got to be doing.
Yes, sir.
Because he wanted to get back at her.
God.
But she was dead wrong for not obeying him.
God, sir.
All right, and go ahead.
Verse 14. And the next unto him was Karshina, Sethar, Atmatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsina, and Mecuman, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom.
You understand? They held the highest positions in the kingdom, man. They dealt with, you understand? They dealt with King Ahasuerus on the regular. That's who he consulted with. These was high men inside of their kingdom, man. You understand? So it was very important. You understand that he get to the bottom of that. That's who he consulted with, man. And his anger was furious because man, when we continue reading on to it, you're gonna see how furious his wrath was.
Right.
You don't understand, and how bad she made him angry. Man, go ahead.
Verse 15. What shall we do with the queen Vashti?
He asked, "What shall we do with the queen Vashti?" Go ahead.
According to the law.
According to the law of the Persians, according to his laws, man.
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
Because she hath not performed the commandment of King Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
Because she did not perform the command, the order that was given to her. You understand that he gave to the chamberlains to go and get them, to get her and bring her, so he can show his peace off, man. You understand? And she said nah. Yeah, she denied it. She didn't want to come and do it. She didn't want to obey that order. You know what I'm saying? So he consulted with them to find out what should be done for that insolence. Go ahead.
And Mechamon answered before the king and the princess, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes.
Ooh, so she didn't disrespect only the king. Who else did she disrespect? Hold on 1 second. Not Tazah. You already know what I'm about to say, so fix it. Go ahead, Doc.
But also to all the princes.
Hold your questions. Put your hands down. Read that one more time.
And Mechamon answered before the king and the princess, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but to all the princes.
Not only she disrespected, you understand, the king, but she did wrong to even all the princes, all of the men in that land, man.
God.
You understand? Read on.
And to all the people that are in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus.
And to all the men that's in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus.
Wow.
You understand? Keep reading.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands.
In other words, the way she represented herself is basically her, like, that's a bad influence. In other words, like he was looking at it like, yo, the counselors was telling his counselors and his wise men was telling him, like, look, that's a bad influence. Her doing that is going to resonate to the women out there, you know, that are under their men out there in the provinces, and they're going to think it's okay to disrespect or not, you know, obey the command of their husbands. You know what I'm saying? So they had to do something about that. They just felt like she was just about to give a bad, like set a bad example. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly, you know, what she was doing in that sense, because other women would have seen that. They'd be like, girl, you know, Queen Vashti, she don't be listening to her man. Shoot, I think I'm going to tell that nigga, I don't want to talk. I ain't doing nothing he say, shoot.
God, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So they had to do something about that. Read on.
So that they shall despise the husband in their eyes, when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. And
it's going to be reported, meaning what the incident that happened, this is going to be talked about. People are going to hear about it. They're going to spread it around. They're going to be all in all of the provinces. Well, you can imagine sisters, man, because we lived amongst them, man.
That's right.
You know, so you can imagine sisters, man. You know, King Ahasuerus, he ain't been listening to his husband.
That's right.
We ain't going to listen to our, you know, the shoot. I ain't listening to that nigga no more. Sure, if the queen could get away with it, I surely can get away with it.
That's right.
You understand? I can get away if she doing it against the king. I must can get away with something.
Right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Being rebellious as hell, man. You understand? So they didn't want that. They didn't want that kind of behavior going out. Go ahead.
Sir, it's like most kingdoms where the king, their word is law.
God, damn right.
Their word is law.
Damn right. Well, if I could get a glass, man, I want to drink it out of this can. I want to drink out of the cup if I could.
The word is law, and when you disobey that law, it's like disobeying the king. So, hey, she just disobeyed the direct law.
Damn right, man.
Direct understanding of their law.
You understand? Keep reading.
Come, sir. Likewise, shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king princes which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus saith, there arise too much contempt and wrath.
You understand? You're going to hear about the contempt and all of the wrath in the households. You're gonna hear the complaints of the men about how their women ain't listening and ain't doing it. It's gonna be a lot of fighting and arguing, and just because these women are going to decide that they're gonna follow. It's almost damn near like they was afraid of the women's movement. Like in this time period. They was afraid of the woman's spirit. It's like, nah, we got, hold on. She's setting up, because she's the queen.
The queen, yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like everybody looking at her, she probably was like how everybody look at, Beyonce right now.
God.
Even though she, of course, she was a heathen.
God.
But it was just like how everybody look at Beyonce.
God.
You know what I'm saying? How sisters be dressing and doing what they doing, and their bad influence on, and the influence of all of them singers and rappers and stuff. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and and Megan Thee Stallion got sisters in there twerking in the household, giving that nigga hell, man, in the household, man.
That's right, sir.
You understand? And so they just didn't
God.
want that to go down, man.
God,
So he wanted to do something about that. Go ahead.
God. Verse 19. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti came no more before King Ahasuerus.
Meaning this, let's put out a decree, a written decree, a decree that can't be altered, meaning a decree that can't be revoked.
God, sir.
Can't nobody change it. Once that stamp goes up there,
right, sir.
it's
That's right.
done. You understand? It's done. And he said, let's put out a decree that this woman can no longer appear before the king.
Wow.
You understand? You know how horrible that is got to be for a woman that you be married to a man, but you can't see him at all?
Right,
and
sir.
you better not go out there and commit adultery on him.
Right, sir. Right,
You know what I'm saying? Because then you're going to be put to death.
God.
You know what I'm saying? By their laws, of course. So go ahead.
And let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Ooh, and this also shows you how much. This also shows you how much how unlawful these heathens are, because they throw away their women. You understand? He was mad because she didn't come in and like it was that bad. Like she didn't obey that order. So I'm just gonna throw the broad away. Forget it. I'm gonna sell everything she got and give it to another woman, which in our culture is unlawful. You can't throw your woman away.
That's right, sir.
Once you marry a woman, that woman is yours forever, unless she commits, unless for what? Fornication, right?
Yes, sir.
Unless she goes out and commits adultery on you. And that goes for any woman you deal with, man.
God, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Which is why it's important that you know that you make a righteous decision, a wise decision on who you deal with. You understand? And who you marry. Because once you marry them, they are yours forever.
That's right, sir.
All right? Read on.
Verse 20. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be punished throughout all his empire, for it is great. All the wives shall give to their husbands honor.
You understand? This decree is going to bring that respect barrier back to the households, man. And these women are going to start honoring them, is what they believed was going to happen by putting out this decree, right? Keep going.
Honor to both great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princess, and the king did according to the word of Memucan.
You understand? And he pleased it. What they said to him, he was pleased by it. It made good, wise sense. You understand? And he followed that. He made sure that decree was going to happen. You understand?
Sir.
Keep reading.
Sir. Verse 22. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language.
You understand? He sent letters to every province. Now you understand, in this time of Medo-Persia, you understand, it was just like America. It was just like the Roman Empire. There was a melting pot of nations all over, man. You understand? And of course, we was in there just like we are in every damn captivity, in slavery, or being ruled over, when we're supposed to be the greatest people in the earth. You understand? And he sent a letter in all languages, and we received a letter as well in the ancient Hebrew, man. You understand? And that decree was letting us know, was letting it be known. You understand that Queen Vashti was banished, and that she was a poor example for you.
Sir.
You understand? And that you should obey your husbands. Read on.
And to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and it should be published according to the language of every people.
You understand? Every man is going to have honor in his house, and is going to rule in his house with the decree that went out. Go ahead.
God, sir. Let me go to verse, that was 22. You want me to go to Esther 2?
Yeah, chapter 2. Keep going.
God, sir. Esther, chapter 2.
All right.
King James Version of the Bible.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into where King Ahasuerus meets, you understand, one of our beautiful sisters in our nation. Baddest woman in that land at that time, man.
God.
So bad that, we're going to read it. I ain't going to give it to you until we get into it. Let's go ahead and read.
After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her.
Meaning, after his anger subsided, meaning now he's not angry so much. You understand? He's done with that issue. That's done. The woman's gone. She ain't the queen no more. All right, boom. You understand?
God.
So now he remembered his decree, right?
God.
And what she had done. He's sitting there, he's thinking like, dang, yeah, she did that thing, man. I had to do that decree. He just sitting there thinking to himself, like, yeah, that's crazy how she did that. You know how brothers, we can sit back, and how men sit back and be thinking like, dang, yeah, she did that thing, man. That's messed up, but ain't no sweat. No sweat. All right, keep reading.
Verse 2. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Ooh, so now his counselors are saying this. He said, let us go find you a new queen.
Right.
Let's search the entire empire and find you a woman. All right, keep reading.
Verse 3. And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, and they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of the hedge, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, and let their things be purification be given unto them.
So in other words, the counselor is telling the king, you know what I'm saying, let's go ahead and send out people specifically to go find these women. Go find you some beautiful women, all the fairest women in the land. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take them, we're going to clean them up, give them perfume, put nice dresses on them, do their hairs, get their nails done.
All right.
Put them through a beautification process because they wanted to make sure they presented, you understand, these women to the king.
That's right.
All right, keep reading.
Verse 4. And let the maiden which pleaseth the king to be queen instead of Vashti.
And let the maiden who pleased the queen, the maiden who pleases the king become queen. You understand? Over Queen Vashti.
God.
Okay? You understand? Keep reading.
And the thing pleased the king, and he did so.
And the thing did please the king, and he did so, man. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 5. Now in Shushan the palace, there was a certain Jew, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shammai, the son of Kish, a Benjamite.
All right, and now we're going into Mordecai. Now, Mordecai was a Benjamite. For all y'all that don't know who the Benjamites are today, that's the so-called Trinidadians, so-called Jamaicans, and I think
West Indies.
It's the so-called West Indians. Okay, you look on that sign right there. Of course, it lists all 12 tribes, and it lists all of the tribes and who they are today. You understand? So the Benjamites would be the so-called West Indians. You call it Jamaicans and Trinidadians and all of that. You understand? Read on.
Verse 6. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with captivity.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
You understand? So his family was carried away, you know what I'm saying, by King Nebuchadnezzar, man. You understand? And now he's up in this land under the captivity of the Persians.
God.
You understand? And so there's a very significant point about Mordecai, because Mordecai, you understand, and we're gonna get into it. Mordecai, even though Esther, did the thing that he told her to do, Mordecai used his wisdom to give order to this woman to make sure that everything was straight.
God.
So we're gonna get into it a little bit deeper as we read it. Read on.
Verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. And the maid was fair and beautiful.
You understand now, this is Mordecai's cousin. Esther was Mordecai's cousin.
God.
All right, but Mordecai raised her like a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because both of her parents were gone. They were dead. You understand? And so he raised her up like a daughter, and she was beautiful. She was fair. You know what I'm saying? She was the most beautiful woman in that land.
God.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And she had to be a bad sister, man, because the Bible describes her as fair and beautiful. You understand? Like, how, in the scriptures, you just say, this sister was fair. Like to look up upon. You say, it says she was fair and beautiful.
Damn right.
So this was a bad sister, right?
That's
Damn right. Give him a hand. It said Queen Vashti was fair.
Right.
But it said that Esther was fair and beautiful.
That's right.
She was a bad broad.
Right.
She was what the world calls a 10.
That's
You
right,
understand?
sir.
She was a dime.
Right.
You understand? She would have been like, how they look at Beyonce today or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how she was in that time period. So damn bad that out of all the women in all the provinces, she was the one that was picked by the king. You know what I'm saying? A sister. You understand? From the tribe of Judah. Go ahead.
And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother was dead, took for his own daughter. So it came to pass, when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women.
You understand? So now she, as a result of the decree, you understand, she was brought along with all of these young maidens. You understand? Because that was the decree that went out. It was, of course, the law. If he said that he wanted all of the maidens to come out and the young maidens, go get all the young maidens, they couldn't refute that.
That's right.
A lot of y'all probably say, well, dang, she knew he was a heathen. Why in the hell did she go, why the hell did she do it? She had no choice.
God, sir.
She had to go.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? She had to go. But not luckily, so like it. But but righteously, because the Lord is with her, you know what I'm saying? She had a cousin, you know what I'm saying, who was a very wise brother and kept her in line to make sure that she was going to be straight, man. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the maiden pleased him.
And the maiden pleased him, man. Go ahead.
And she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her things for purification.
You understand? Because even though he was a heathen, she was just raised right, man. Like Mordecai took care of her and raised her right. She was kind, and she did what she did, how she presented herself and acted the way she's supposed to act.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And when she got before that king, who was the most powerful king in that land,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Her behavior appeased him, man. Her behavior made that king to enjoy her company and to be happy with her, man. You understand? To show kindness to her. You understand? Keep reading.
With such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given to her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women.
Read that verse again.
God, sir. And the maiden pleased him.
What verse you on?
Verse 9, sir.
Go ahead.
And the maidens pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her things of purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given to her. out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of women.
Meaning she was so bad that that the king was impressed by her, man.
That's right, sir.
And the man that was sent out to get her, you understand, was impressed with her, man. And she was given 7 maids, 7 servants. You know what I'm saying? And she was given the best spot, you understand, in the king's palace, man. The best place. You know what I'm saying? Like she was that bad. You know what I'm saying? And it shows you how much a man will do for a woman. There's scripture inside the Apocrypha, you know what I'm saying, that talks about, you know what I'm saying, what is greater, you know, the king, wine, or women. Have you ever read that scripture? Well, I might bring that out in another topic as well. You know what I'm saying? It talks about how, you know, the one brother said that, you know, women are more powerful, you know what I'm saying, than the king and wine. You know what I'm saying? Because their influence on a man. A man go out and do all the things that he do for that woman. You know what I'm saying? And this man, he saw the beauty. This king saw the beauty of this woman, and he had to have her.
That's right.
And was willing to give up everything he had, including half his kingdom, which he told her a few times in this chapter. You know what I'm saying? Because of her beauty, man.
That's right.
You was about to say something, Mark?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Keep reading.
Verse 11. Verse 10. Verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
Again, Mordecai was her head, man. Mordecai was giving her wise counsel, told her, do not tell them what your nationality is.
Sir.
Don't tell them who you are. Just be quiet about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what, you know, we don't know what could happen if you say that, or if it even matters or not, but let's just be quiet on that.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? That's just being wise, man.
That's right.
Just watching every step that he makes in this situation, being that this is his cousin, but like his daughter or whatever in this situation, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that, you know, she makes the right decisions that don't get her jammed up or whatever. So he just let her know. It's like straight up. It's like, you know what I'm saying, don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody what your nationality is right now. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Oh,
and then, if I may, sir, if I may say, that's Mordecai with the leadership of the man taking charge and making sure the woman followed the man's, and Esther did it perfectly right there. Just
damn right.
Letting them know.
Damn right.
That, you know, you follow the man. She kept the hierarchy of what things going on, right?
Damn right. Give me the scripture that talks about you know, the man being over the woman and Christ over the man and the Most High over Christ. That's the order of it, man. That's the order, you understand, of from the heavens, man. That's the order on this earth as well. You understand? And she did what was right. She obeyed Mordecai because she knew the laws. You know what I'm saying? She knew that she had to obey this man. She knew who her Lord was. And this man, because she obeyed the voice of this man, the Lord was with them, man. The Lord was with them. So this is a good lesson in many aspects, but it's also a good lesson to you women out there to be obedient to the man over you, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling, listen, don't get silly and think I'm telling you to obey somebody's orders and they telling you to do wicked things, man. You understand? If a brother's telling you to do something wicked, you disobey them orders. You know what I'm saying? And you call and get some counsel. You call for help ASAP. Right. You know what I'm saying? If they trying to get you to do something that's just plain unlawful against the Most High. But other than that man tell you to do something that is lawful, you better get down and do it. Do whatever it is that he needs you to do, as long as it's lawful. You know what I'm saying? And in this situation, this is a sister who already, you know, presented herself as a good woman based on the fact that she allowed Mordecai, you understand, who raised her up like a daughter, you understand, to give her orders even when she was the damn queen. She was the queen. She became the queen, you understand, over that entire, you know what I'm saying, nation, over all of them provinces. She had a lot of power, a lot more power than Mordecai. You know what I'm saying, for the land. You know what I'm saying? She had more power than him, but she still obeyed Mordecai, man. Go ahead.
You want me to?
Oh, you had that precept?
You want me to read it, sir?
Yeah, go ahead and get it. You stay where you go on Esther. You just go ahead and give me that precept.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
But the head of every man is Christ. Read on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
But the head of the woman is the man.
That's right.
You understand? You are to obey that man. You understand? He is head over you. You understand? And in this situation, because she was so obedient, you understand, to Mordecai, you understand, who she did not fail to remember, was her cousin and her people of her kindred. You know what I'm saying? She was able to do something that was mighty, you understand, in the eyesight of the Lord, man. Go back to Esther, man.
Sir. Verse 11, I believe. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Verse 12. Now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of women.
I'm sorry, go back to verse 11. Sarah, be quiet, Sarah. Sarah, stop spraying that. Put it away and be quiet before I move you somewhere else. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And Esther had not showed her people nor charged her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. Verse 11. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did.
You understand? Mordecai wanted to make sure he keep up with what was going on with Esther. Because that was like his daughter, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He wanted to know everything that was going on with her. So he did absolutely right. He was, you know what I'm saying? He watched over her, man.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? This is a brother that was over Shamar with that woman, man.
That's right.
You make sure y'all taking care of my baby. Make sure y'all taking care of my daughter, my cousin. You understand? Read.
To know how Esther did.
So he wanted to know how she was doing, how everything was going with her. Right? And what was happening with her. Making sure they was doing right by her.
Right.
Read on.
And what should become of her?
And what shall become of her? What are they going to do with her? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to happen if the king don't reject her? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to her? What, you know, if she do something wrong that ain't, you know, that ain't their custom, what's going to happen? He wanted to keep up with every move she made because that's the responsibility of a man over a woman.
That's right.
Which is a good lesson for you brothers as well.
That's right.
You understand that not only that woman is supposed to obey you, but you are supposed to make sure you're instructing her correctly.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And the minute that you start misleading that woman and doing something wrong with that woman, you understand you're not going to be pleasing the Lord.
Right.
You understand? You got to guide that woman and teach that woman. You understand? And so that's an excellent lesson for that as well, that this is a brother who kept up his responsibility. He knew that he had a responsibility to take care of Esther. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just give her up to them and allow them to deal with her. He made sure that he watched and knew what was going on with this woman as well. All right, keep going.
Verse 12. Now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months according to the manner of women. For so were the days of their purifications accomplished. To wit, 6 months with oil, myrrh, 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things that purifying of the woman. So
in other words, before any of the women would go and get in the bed with the king,
that's right,
they had to go through a 6-month process of what they call purification. You understand? In which they had to be beautified. They had to have oils and all kinds of stuff. They had to have their hairs done, nails done, everything done, man. You understand? They had to be treated, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that they was ready to be able to lay in that bed with that king. You understand? Keep reading.
Sir. Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house.
You understand? She was given. Read that one more time, so like it.
Sir. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her.
You understand? Go ahead.
out of the house of the women unto the king's house.
You understand? Whatever she wanted, whatever these women wanted, they were given what they wanted. Whether it was clothing, jewelry, you know what I'm saying, fine wine, whatever it was, they got what they wanted. They asked of it, they was able to get it.
God, sir.
You asked,
I was going to say, just to show up in front of the king, you had to be purified as a woman.
damn right.
You don't just show up there, just like for like a better understanding, just smelling any kind of way. You had to be purified. They wanted to make sure when you don't cycle or whatever, these things were myrrh and aloe and oils were made for her purification.
Damn right, man. They give him my hand. That was correct. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she ain't have sores and blisters and all kinds of stuff and, you know, sexual transmitted diseases.
That's
and
right.
Making sure that, you know, get all that hard stuff off her feet and, and put some lotion on them knees.
That's right, sir.
Get her looking good, pick them nails up, get them nails done and everything. So that's what they had to do, man.
God, sir. Verse 14. In the evening she went. On the morrow she returned to the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
So read that one more time, man.
In the evening she went. On the morrow she returned into the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
Meaning this, she was brought into the king. She was brought to the place where they kept all of the king's wives.
God.
Right, and she was there to await what?
To let the king's but to see her.
To await the king's request.
That's right, sir.
You understand? Because you couldn't go and just be up on the king.
That's right.
You couldn't just be up and, hey man, what you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I've been out here chilling. You been all right? You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that with this king, man. This king had a law that you had to be requested.
God.
You understand? For whatever reason he had, that was his law.
God, sir.
You understand? So she waited amongst her the concubines or the other women that he had, and he you know what I'm saying, and they waited until he requested them.
That's right, sir.
You understand? Which God knows how long that could have been. You know what I'm saying? You might be woman number 35 on the list.
God, sir.
You know, who knows how that went down.
God.
But pretty much that's what you had to do. You had to wait for the king to request you, man.
God, sir.
You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 15. Now when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go into the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
You understand? Read that one more time.
Now with the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come and go into the king. She required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all of them that looked upon her.
You understand? And she went in. It was her time to go in with the king. And then now one of the king's eunuchs or the chamberlains, you understand, was in charge of her. That was in charge of her. You understand? She gained honor in the sight of these people, man, because because of her obedience, and she asked nothing. That she just did what was requested of her, man.
God, sir.
You understand? Keep going.
Verse 16. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into the house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in which the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther.
And the king what?
He loved Esther.
Well, the king loved Esther. Keep going.
Above all the women.
Above all the women. Gotta be a bad woman.
Woo.
Had to be a hot pick, a good pick, man.
God.
Cause God, it was to the point where he just was like, he's like, yeah, she the one right here.
Yes,
she the one. Like you'll just imagine how beautiful she was.
God,
like
sir.
Sisters, y'all don't understand, man. Y'all don't understand what y'all do to the men on this earth. And I don't just mean Hebrew Israelite men, your own men. I'm talking about the men on the earth.
Yeah,
all
right.
men. They want you. All of them do. You understand? But the Lord made you for black, Hispanic, and
That's
Indian
right,
men.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? And in this
Right.
situation,
That's right, sir.
you understand, although, her being married to this heathen, you know what I'm saying, this is something we don't, you know what I'm saying, this is something that the Lord wanted to happen. You understand, for the sake of Israel. However, you understand, she did this to save our nation, man.
God, sir.
She was part of, whatever the Lord had to do in order to keep, you understand, that wicked Haman, who we're going to speak about, from destroying, you understand, the Israelites, man.
God, sir.
You understand? And she was so bad that, it's just like how it talks about how Sarah went into the land of Egypt.
God, sir.
And she was bad too. Sarah was bad too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Sarah was bad.
God.
And they had a lot of the Egyptians to tell him that was his sister. Because if they didn't, they would have killed Abraham just so they could marry.
That's right, sir.
You understand? That's how bad she was. Our women are bad in this earth. Could you imagine if we wasn't under all of these curses? How beautiful you would.
Wow.
Your hair would grow back. You understand?
Wow.
You understand? That filth and that funk would go away.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the things, those are curses you may not understand. Sisters, that the reason why you can't grow your hair, that is a real curse. That's a real curse. There's a scripture that talks about you be struck with baldness upon the head.
That's right, sir.
And most sisters walking around here wearing this weave and these tracks, or you know what I'm saying, these full lace wigs. You know what I'm saying? You wearing that, and up under that hair hat ain't nothing but probably about this much of hair. You understand? Not to insult black women, because I love my black, Hispanic, Native Indian woman. I'm just saying that the reason why our hair, or the reason why we are like the way we are today, is because we are cursed. But when you come into the truth of the Most High, you'll gain all of those beautiful features that Esther had and that Sarah had, man. You know what I'm saying? You'll gain all of that back. You know what I'm saying? And all of our women will be walking around here looking beautiful, looking like 10s, man. You understand? Go ahead.
Sir. Verse 17. And the king loved Esther above all women and obtained grace and favor in his sight. Sight more than all the virgins, so that she set the royal crown. Let me read this again, sir. So that the king loved Esther above all women, and she obtained grace and the favor in the sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head.
Meaning that he made her queen. You understand? She was the out of all women, he delighted in her so much that he made her queen over Vashti. Now Vashti, of course she was already taken away as the queen. You know what I'm saying? But now, you know what I'm saying, Esther is now the queen over Israel. You understand? Now don't get this twisted, sisters. I don't want you to take this thing, I don't want you to take from this lesson, that there are queens in Israel. Because there is no queen in Israel, man. We never had queens in Israel.
That's right.
She was the queen over the Persians in this time period.
That's right.
She was a queen, to King Ahasuerus in Persia, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that was a circumstantial situation. But we've never had a queen inside of Israel, and we will never have a queen inside of Israel.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So don't take that from this story. You understand? But it is good for you to take the fact that she was a righteous sister and did what it took, you understand, to raise up to save our nation from being annihilated, from being utterly destroyed off this earth. That's right. Because what Haman was about to allow to happen, that King Ahasuerus was going to allow to happen, was going to allow the destruction, like the total destruction of our people. know what I'm saying? Because they were going in, getting ready to kill all the men, women, children, you know, boy and girls, man. We're going to get into that later on as well. Keep going.
Yes, sir. So that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
Verse 18.
Then the king made a great feast unto all the provinces and the servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king.
You understand? So not only, you know what I'm saying, now he done married this woman, but he done messed around and threw another party, man. He threw a big party in honor of his new queen. You know what I'm saying? And he threw this big banquet, you understand, for all his nobles and officials, you know what I'm saying, and made it a public holiday. You understand? For all of the provinces to give out gifts to everyone, man. So made his own holiday, his own religious little thing or whatever based on the situation. Go ahead,
Officer Short said the Persians are East right now. I want to say to him that the Persians are actually the people from Iran.
Damn right. So if you go and you read, I want to say you can find it in the Bible dictionary. Children, y'all calm down and be quiet. Sarah, take your chair and move back there beside that desk right there. Stand up.
She keeps hitting me and bucking there. I keep telling her to stop.
Ayana, you come over here, sit over here as well. Sit over here. See, now I gotta embarrass y'all on the live camera because y'all not listening. Now this thing is live, so there are people listening on here because y'all want to be back there acting goofy. No sweat, just move over there on that side so I can get back to teaching. I'm not gonna keep telling y'all to be quiet in this classroom. Move your chair right there. I told y'all before I started class, I didn't want y'all to do that. Y'all doing that. Stop being disrespectful and be quiet. Shut your mouths. Shemai. Thank you. Now we're going to go back to the class. Go ahead.
It was the Persians are the Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the people from Iran. Those people, that's the same people, sir.
That is correct. Give them my hand.
No,
Go ahead.
No, sir. Verse 20. Esther had not showed her kindred nor her people as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai.
See, Esther did the commandment of Mordecai.
That's right, sir. That's
and
right.
she's now, at this point, she's the queen over the of Persia.
That's right, sir.
But Mordecai, she obeyed Mordecai's voice when Mordecai said, don't reveal your name or your lineage to them. So she still knows what it's about, what she got to do, man. She still got to get this counsel from this man who is from her tribe, who is of the Lord. You understand? Go ahead.
Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth and sought to lay hands on King Ahasuerus.
So Mordecai was on duty at the king's gate, man. He had a job. And so he was like an official, kind of like a guard.
God, sir.
And he heard two other guards running their mouth about how they wanted to kill King Ahasuerus. You understand? And it was plotting to assassinate him, man.
Wow.
You understand? And of course, in our culture, you know, murder is a sin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was right when he did this. Keep going.
God, sir. And verse 22. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it to Esther the queen.
He let Esther know that this man was getting ready to plot and murder that king, man. That these men were talking about plotting to murder that king. You understand? So he let it be known to her, man. Keep going.
And Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name.
You understand? And so she went and told the king what happened or what they were doing, right? Or what they were talking about. You understand? And let it be known that it was Mordecai, her cousin, who gave her the information. Made sure that he knew that, you know what I'm saying, that, that Mordecai was doing a loyal thing for you.
God, sir, God.
You know what I'm saying? Which is very wise too, because when you got a heathen king, you got to know how to operate, play your chess pieces.
God,
You know what I'm saying? That's like when Paul was up in them courts, man. Paul was talking to them judges, and he was talking right to them judges, man.
That's right.
In Rome. You know what I'm saying? He was talking in a way that it flattered those judges, you know what I'm saying, in that situation. And that's how you got to learn how to deal, you understand, with officials that are over you in these empires and our captivity.
That's right.
You understand? And he knew how to deal, you understand, with the king. And in that situation, he knew that was gonna probably give him a little bit of favor in the situation.
No, God, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. And when the inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out.
So when he went and inquired on it, they went and investigated the situation. It was found out that it was true, that these men were plotting against him and they were going to try to put him to death.
God.
You understand? The king. Read on.
Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree.
So they both were put to death, man.
Yes, sir.
They were both put to death.
Wow.
You understand? Read on.
And it was written in the book of Chronicles before the king.
You understand? It was written in the book of Chronicles about that entire situation. Go ahead.
God, sir. Verse, we're going to go to Esther 3, church.
Chapter 3. Let's go.
Chapter 3, Esther, chapter 3. After these things, King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha.
So now, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Agagite.
Mm-hmm.
And advanced him and set the seat above all the provinces that were with him.
So King Ahasuerus raised up a man named Haman, right? And Haman was an Edomite. If you go and find out who the Agagites were,
right.
they are Edomites. So he was a heathen. He was an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? And Haman, you understand, was a noble man. You know what I'm saying? And he was a man that King Ahasuerus, you know what I'm saying, trusted. You know what I'm saying? Trusted so much that he would give the ring, that he would sign decrees, and he would give that ring, you know, over to this man so that he can go and create decrees and send these decrees off in the name of King Ahasuerus. You gotta be well trusted to be given the power to go and stamp off decrees in the name of the king. It's almost damn near like you the king.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You got that kind of power. So Haman was a man that was advanced, meaning he was promoted. He was promoted inside of in this kingdom or whatever. You know what I'm saying? To be the highest official, you understand, under King Ahasuerus. Go ahead.
Sir. Yes, sir. Haman was actually the relative of the king of the Edomite that was in Saul's days, the Agagite. The Amalekites, which Saul should have annihilated under Samuel's order by the Most High, and he didn't do it. And so therefore that's how Haman got on through. That lineage got on through, and they still got the Edomites right there.
What is the history class? Thursday? Thursday is history class. Wednesday? I thought that was the law class. Thursday is the history class. Yeah, you need to be teaching history class.
I did that last about 3 weeks ago. When at the Agagite, if I may, the Agagite, Saul fell. You know, he was the one told by Samuel to get rid of these Agagites, destroy every last one of them, because the Lord knew that the Amalekites, those same Jews that are back there today, right now, that have plagued our people with all these curses that all these goings on that we got now. Right. All he had to do was just kill them, but he didn't. So Haman was really an Edomite, the same as Agagite from King Agag.
Damn right, man. Give him a hand. Powerful brother. This is a brother that not only teaches the Hebrew language, but is studious in the history as well. You understand? And he just gave you a breakdown who Haman was.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Who was an Edomite, who was the right-hand man,
that's
you understand, of King Ahasuerus. You understand? Let's keep reading.
And Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Verse 4. Let me go back to verse 4, sir. Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matter would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. And verse 5, and when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
Why wasn't he bowing down to Haman, man? Why wasn't he? Go ahead, Abon.
So like, sir, he knew it was against our laws, statutes, and customs
Oh, God,
to
that's
bow
right.
down to any other heathen.
Damn right.
That's right.
Give him a hand.
That's right.
Mordecai was gangster. Go ahead,
Oh,
I was
God,
about to
sir.
say, he was a straight up G. He was a true soldier for the Most High.
That's right.
Damn right. He said, nah. Bow down for what? No. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he stood on that. And they asked him, why you don't want to do it? Because he's the Jew, and it's part of our custom.
That's
what?
right,
To not
sir.
bow down
That's
to
right.
anybody but to our own God, man.
Oh, God, sir.
And we not gonna bow down, and he didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they took that to heart, but he was in their feelings about that. Hammond was not pleased. This nigga, he think he too good to bow down. Go ahead,
That's
huh?
right,
So like,
sir.
sir, exactly what you just said. When they was like, this nigga ain't gonna bow down to me.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Like, he ain't gonna bow down to me. He's just in his feelings, man. He was hurt by that.
Wow.
Just this one nigga that wouldn't bow, and he just wanted to be in his feelings about
That's
it.
right, sir.
Go ahead.
And it was full of wrath. Verse 6.
He was full of anger. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And he scorned to lay hands on Mordecai alone.
Ooh, so he wanted to try to lay hands on Mordecai.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And just based on how that brother is, I don't think it would have been wise for him to try to go at Mordecai. Mordecai probably would have put the brakes on him, like would have beat the brakes off
God,
him.
sir.
Because you could tell he had the spirit of the Most High on him.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Because he could have been put to death on the spot.
That's right,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? But he stood firmly. He stood firmly and he said, I'm not, he did not bow once.
God, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Caused so much confliction between him and Hammond because Hammond wanted him to bow. You understand? Keep reading.
And he thought to scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews.
You understand? So he, at this point, he's like, well, I want to put my hands on him. But this, I don't want to do this alone. I don't. It wasn't enough to just do that. Like it wasn't just enough to put his hands on him.
Wow.
Let me hit him where it's going to really hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now his mission is to go after his people, because he found out what Mordecai was. He found out that Mordecai was a man that come from the Jews, man.
God, sir.
He knew that he was a man from the Israelites,
God.
from the Jews that lived in the land, man. You know what I'm saying? So now he's going to go hit him where it hurts, and that's going to be his entire family.
God.
Read on.
To destroy all the Jews were throughout the whole kingdom of Ashurus, even the people of Mordecai.
Even the people, even Mordecai's people, even his tribe.
God.
He was set out to destroy his family and all of the families of the Jews, man.
God.
You understand? Because he knew and that all came from the fact that Mordecai didn't want to bow to him, man.
That's right, sir.
You understand? Because Mordecai, that sounds like the sister, you know what I'm saying, and her sons who didn't bow, you understand, to the king of that time.
God.
You know what I'm saying, to King Darius.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they, of course, they was put to death for it. Mordecai, he had the same spirit. He stood strong. He's like, nigga, I'm not bound for nobody but the Most High. Keep reading.
And the first month, that is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ashurus, they cast pure, that is, the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. And Haman said unto King Ashurus, there's a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all the people.
And all their laws are diverse from all the people. You know you got to be talking about the Jews.
That's right, sir.
Why? Because we were separate. We are a holy people. Right?
That's right.
Because the Most High commanded us to be a holy people unto him.
God.
Man. You know what I'm saying? Even the Bible says we are a holy people unto him. You know what I'm saying? And we must remain separate. And they even knew that. They could tell. How could they tell? Because we were serving a God. We wasn't serving King Osiris. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't sacrificing beasts in his temple. You understand? Or sacrificing beasts to his guys that he set up for himself.
God.
You understand? We was out there in our temples worshiping our God. And practicing our laws. You know what I'm saying? And that greatly, that Hammond knew it. Hammond's such a devil, man.
That's right, sir.
Because Hammond don't give a damn. He really didn't give a damn if they was not following the laws or not.
That's right, sir.
Or they was doing their own thing. He was doing this because of Mordecai.
Right, sir.
That was it. Because they already knew that the Jews were separate in that land.
Sir.
That the Jews was doing their own thing. But he wanted to go after them because of Mordecai.
Right.
His
right,
hatred. That shows you he's a devil.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It's just horrible.
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Same spirit as that NFL player, you understand, that did that to that sister. Because she wouldn't bow. He beat the crap out of her, man.
Wow.
Officer Bond brought that out a few days ago. Beat the crap out of that woman, man. It was all in the news.
God.
You know what I'm saying? And now this is the spirit of the so-called white man, that he would do the same thing even in this time period. He wanted to destroy all women and children, you know what I'm saying, and in the land of Israel, you know what I'm saying, amongst the Jews, all because he couldn't get, you know what I'm saying, Mordecai to bow down to him, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And their laws are diverse from all the people. Neither keep the king's laws. Therefore, it is not the king's profit to suffer them.
So it's not the king's profit to save them.
That's right, sir.
It's not the king's profit. They're nothing. They don't even obey you. What's the point? You know, what's the point of having them? Let's just go ahead and get rid of them.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
That's right, sir. To suffer them. Keep the king's laws. Therefore, it is not the king's profit to suffer them. Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
If it pleases the king, let it be written in a decree. And let's sign off on this decree to destroy all of them, man.
Wow.
To get them out of this land.
Man.
Right? Keep reading.
That it may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver.
And just to make it official, and he hated Mordecai so bad and wanted to kill the Jews so bad that this evil bastard wanted to even put his own money into it, making sure that decree was followed. He was willing to invest 10,000 talents, of silver, man.
That's right, sir.
These are large bars of silver. You know what I'm saying? Worth a lot of money in that time period.
That's right.
He was going to put it in the king's treasury as long as the king was going to allow him to destroy the Jews.
Sir.
Go ahead.
1,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of business to bring it into the king's treasurers.
And of course, at this time, you know what I'm saying, he didn't even know it was the Jews that he was talking about. He was just telling them about the people that you know, made them seem so insignificant.
Sir.
Like they was nobody's. Like, don't worry about it. Let me just get rid of them. I'll give you 10,000. Let me just get rid of them. You ain't got to worry about it. Ain't nobody no way.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the king took the ring from his hand.
The king took the ring from his hand.
And gave it to Haman.
The
son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. The Jews' enemy.
You understand? Our enemy. You understand? The king Osiris took his ring off and gave it to him, signifying what? Signifying, go ahead and do as you will.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and take that ring, make that decree, and sign off on it. It'll be as if I signed off on it.
Wow.
You understand? He gave him that much power over us, over his nation, man. You understand? Damn near more power than the queen.
Sir.
You understand? Go ahead.
And verse 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given unto thee. The people also to do with them as it seemed good to thee.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and it was written according to all of Haman had commanded to the king's lieutenants, and the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people, and the province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language. In the name of King Assuerus was it written and sealed with the king's ring.
You understand? So so the way that Hammond dictated how he wanted to deal with the Jews and how he wanted to kill them, he wrote it out in the decree. You know what I'm saying? And when he wrote it out in that decree, he signed off on it and he sent it in every language to every nation that was living amongst those provinces. You understand? To have every Jew killed in every province that they lived. All of our people were right at that point, were about to be destroyed. You understand? And there was a date that was given. Go ahead, Al.
Sir. And this just, you know what I'm saying, like remind me of the scripture says where it says that they are confederate against us. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's going on right now with the list of them. And that's and if we fast forward to 2021, this is exactly what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressor signed a contract with every type of heathen, every type of oppressor, whatever the case may be, so that us, as far as black Spanish and Native, as far as black Spanish and Native Indians, we won't know our true identity. I mean, just even something basic, just like that. Not knowing your true identity of who you are can just be erased forever. You understand? And that's exactly what's going on right, you know, like back within the biblical times, and we're seeing it right now.
Damn right. Give him a hand. And that the spirit behind them decrees that he was sending out to destroy us ain't no different from the political thing, you know, the things that they sign in law against us, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? To destroy our babies with abortion.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And to deprive us and starve us in this place right here, man. It's no different. You understand? Go ahead, Al.
It's like, sir, just the sidebar of that. Esau just passed the bill today to go ahead and give homosexuals and transgenders the rights to not be discriminated against. And they used the 1964 Civil Rights Bill to pass that.
Man, give him a hand. You may think, oh, well, that's just, you know, that's just for homosexual rights. That is another attempt to destroy us.
That's right.
The more that you give homosexual rights, the more our people are going to keep following in that folly. Because they're going to think that, oh yeah, liberation, we get to do whatever we want. You basically enhancing their ability to be a sinner against the Most High.
Right.
And so you're becoming an enemy. That's how we're being destroyed. Because the more that we go against our God by taking the privileges that are given to us, these wicked privileges that are given to us, you understand, by our enemy, the more we're against our God, the more we die on this earth, man.
God.
You understand? Keep going now.
Verse 13. And the letters were sent by the post unto all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and cause perish to all the Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even 1 and 13, upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to take the spoil of them for their prey.
So not only the decree was to go out for you to kill these men, the men, women, and children of our nation, but also that if you kill them and you slaughter them, you can keep their property. So they was going to come and rob us and kill us and rob us, man. You understand? That was what was going to happen to us. Why? Because Haman hated Mordecai. Because Mordecai wouldn't bow. Because he was obedient to the Most High.
That's right.
He loved the Most High so much that he wasn't going to bow to no damn man.
That's right.
And you shouldn't either.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 14. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given to every province was published to all the people that they should be ready against that day.
You understand? Basically letting them know that this is what's to come. Be prepared. Like, be prepared, because we coming to slaughter y'all. It's like they was giving you a heads up. This day, there's going to be horses, there's going to be swords, and they're going to be coming your way, and you're going to be put to death. You're going to be put to death by the decree of King Assuerus, you understand, which was given the authority to by Haman to destroy them, because Haman was salty about that man not bowing down to him.
That's right.
He was salty. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 15. The post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given into Shushan the palace, and the king and Haman sat down to drink. But the city Shushan was perplexed.
Keep going.
Verse Esther.
They were perplexed. Why was it perplexed? Like, why was he doing that? What was the point? That's why he was confused. Like, the city was trying to figure out, well, why? But anyway, no sweat. You got the power to do it. Go ahead. All right, verse 4.
Esther chapter 4. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes.
Man, Mordecai, he learned about this and he tore his clothes off and went out and, go ahead.
And put on sackcloth with ashes. And went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry.
You can imagine this is the worst news you can get right here, man.
Wow.
This is so bad. This man had to go out. He ripped off his clothes and put on sackcloth, ran out there in the streets and told everybody, yo, we about to die out here, man.
That's right.
You better get right. I'm letting y'all know that there's been a decree against us. Lord, help us. We about to die. Your children about to die.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We're about to be put to death under the decree, you understand, of King Asuerus. You understand, from the council of Haman, his high official. Go ahead.
And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. Verse 3. And every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was a great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes.
You understand? They listen. They heard about it, and they were just as hurt and you know, just as it was a horrible situation, man. It was a horrible situation, and they mourned, man. They cried. You know what I'm saying? And they fasted. Why? Because they wanted the Lord to hear these cries, man. They wanted the Lord to see that they was getting ready to go through some more hell on this earth, so that the Lord could do something to stop it. You understand? And of course, the Lord always hears our cries, man.
That's right.
Even when we in our iniquities, the Lord shows some level of mercy. You know what I'm saying? And he did that again. As like a good father, he chastises us. But then after he's done chastising us and he brings us down low, he brings us back up. You understand? Read on.
Verse 4. So Esther maids and her chamberlains came and told it to her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved.
Because Mordecai told them, chamberlains, what was going on. And of course they delivered that message over to, you understand, to Esther. She found out that her people were about to be destroyed by the decree of the king. From the council of Haman. You understand? Keep going.
And she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him. But he received it not.
Right, and he refused that. She sent them clothes to replace that burlap he put on them clothes, and he refused it. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then called Esther for Hattach, one of the king's chamberlain, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So Hattach went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate.
You understand? Esther sent one of her chamberlains to go find out what the issue was with Mordecai. What's going on with you, man? What's up? She wanted to know what was going on with her cousin, who was like her father. You know what I'm saying? To figure out what the upset is about. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him.
Mordecai broke it down to him. Go ahead.
And of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay the king's treasurers for the Jews.
And even the money that he promised. Remember, it was 10,000 talents that he was going to pay, you understand, to King Asuerus, as long as he allowed him to go and do something like that. Man. You understand? Because it wasn't in the interest in the king to want to do that. It was in the interest of Haman. But since Haman had all of this power, you understand, he wanted to go ahead and get what he could get out of the king. Get out of the king by get what he wanted, based on the fact that you don't understand that Mordecai didn't want to bow down to him. Go ahead.
to pay to king's treasurers for the Jews to destroy them. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given to Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare to her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication.
You understand? Mordecai was basically gave her servant, you understand, the actual decree. You understand? So that she can read and see what was going on.
God.
You know what I'm saying? And what his purpose was is because, but the fact that she is the queen and she's married to King Ahasuerus, he knew that she could do something about it.
God.
There's something she could do about it, man.
God.
You know what I'm saying? To make supplication to the king, meaning to go in and talk to the king and see if you can get him to change his mind on whatever's going on. Figure out,
right.
you know what I'm saying, how we can stop this thing from happening.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Make supplication unto him and to make requests before him for her people.
You understand? They wanted some mercy. You know what I'm saying?
That's
On
right.
one minute everybody good and they living, and then the next minute they get this letter that comes down to this decree, you understand, in the Hebrew language stating that they about to be destroyed in a couple of days. You understand? So Mordecai was real wise from the beginning by you know what I'm saying, by staying on top of Esther and guiding her footsteps through the whole situation, because now they're at a point where the Jews are facing destruction, and now he's going to need her. You understand? Now he's going to need her. Go ahead.
And Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. And Esther spake unto Hatak and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people and the king's prophets do know that whosoever, whether a man or woman, shall come unto the king into his inner court, who is not called, there is one law of him to be put to death.
So this is what Esther. So after receiving, you know, this information about what's getting ready to happen, you know what I'm saying, and after hearing this order that Mordecai gave her, Mordecai said, "Listen, you need to go and tell that king, go talk to that king or whatever before we die." You know what I'm saying? And this is what she said back to him. She said, "Now you know there's a law that says if any man or woman, even the queen, goes before the king, you know what I'm saying, without him requesting them, then they will get put to death."
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what she told him. That was her excuse back to him. Go ahead and read on.
Except there's one law of his to be put to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out of the golden scepter.
Except is if he, and then what they saying is, now if you come up to the palace, king sitting in his throne, and you come up there and you wasn't received and you wasn't called by him, the only way you knew if you was gonna die or live is if he stuck that scepter out.
That's right.
If he stuck that scepter out, then that means that you're welcome to come
That's
in.
right,
You're not gonna
that's
be put
right.
to death. If he don't stick that scepter out, then you know, shalom. So you can put to death. I'm saying, because it was the law that you didn't go to the king without his request. And the scepter was mercy. You understand? Go ahead.
Except such whom the king should hold out a golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come into the king's these 30 days.
So she said, I ain't been called by the king. I'm supposed to wait until the king calls me.
That's right.
What am I to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be put to death behind this.
God.
Read.
And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews.
Mordecai said, listen, if the Jews get destroyed, you gonna get destroyed.
That's right.
Don't think that just because you sitting up there on that throne, you understand that after they kill us, they ain't gonna come and kill you.
That's right.
Eventually they gonna kill you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He had to let her know. Like, stop being scared and do what I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about getting put to death. Worry about, you know what I'm saying? Worry about what I'm telling you right now. Go ahead. You about to say something?
Nah, so I was gonna say the mind frame that you have is the mind frame a lot of these rich Uncle Toms have. They feel like, you know, I can't say nothing about it because if I do, you know, they might do something to hurt me. But they don't even know at the end of the day, you're going to still get treated just like the rest of us.
Give them a hand. That's the perfect explanation for that. That was a perfect explanation. You understand? And that's exactly what happens. Which is why you need to know who you're going to be loyal to from the beginning, man. You understand? Because look what happened to Nick Cannon, man. You understand? He got up there and started running his mouth about, you know what I'm saying, about how the white man and how he treats the black man, this and that. And they took away his show. Then turned around and had to, you know, act like an Uncle Tom out there to get it back. You understand? So this is Mordecai giving her a reality check like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I hope you know that if they kill us, they're coming to kill you too.
God, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 14, for if thou altogether hold thy peace at this time, then share the enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews.
Meaning that if you don't do anything, you know what I'm saying, then the Lord is going to find somebody to do it anyway.
God.
If you don't do it, the Lord is going to fix the situation anyway.
God.
You understand? No sweat. Well, go ahead.
Enlargement of deliverance arise from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed.
But if you don't do it, somebody else will come and do it. But at the same time, you're going to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because you being a coward, you know what I'm saying, and you not doing it is disloyal to your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, rest assured that if you don't go and do something about this, the Lord will deliver us somehow.
God.
You know what I'm saying? But your family is going to get cut off. That's what Mordecai was telling her.
God.
Like, don't forget who you are. Don't forget that we in this truth, we are martyrs in this truth. Right. Don't worry about if you're going to get put to death. You should be willing to go be put to death if it means you're going to save your damn people.
God.
That's the spirit of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge,
right,
man.
Sir.
That we're willing to die for our people.
That's right,
I'm not telling you to be stupid and go out there and get killed. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that the love has to be so heavy up in there, man, in this truth, you know what I'm saying, in our nation, that we're willing, instead of killing and murdering our brothers and robbing our brothers, we ought to be willing to lay our life on the line for them, man, like the scripture says. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a lesson in brotherhood for her. You know what I'm saying? That she should be willing to go and die, regardless if the law says that she could be put to death for standing before her king without being requested. She better be ready to go do it if it means that all of her people are about to be destroyed.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
And who knows, meaning this might be the reason why you are queen over this nation. Right. This might be the reason why the Most High put you in this position. The reason why you have been married on to this man, because the Lord knew that there was going to be a man that was going to want to destroy us. So now you have all of this power, being that you're the queen. You can talk to your husband, the king, and stop him from doing what he got to do, what they're going to do.
That's right.
And he already so mesmerized by it. He says that first off, she's the baddest woman in the land.
Right.
Second off, he already told her, it's like, yo, I'll give you everything. I'll give you half of my kingdom if you wanted it. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So you got the power to handle that situation. You was about to say something else? Okay, no sweat. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Then Esther bade them return to Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews that are in the presence of Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my mates will fast likewise, and so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law, but if I perish, I perish.
Man, she said something so right. She listened to what Mordecai said, man. She said, all right, no sweat, Mordecai, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead. I want y'all to fast 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to fast 3 days. I'm going to have my service. We're going to fast 3 days. And then I'm going to go up to the king, even though it's against the law to do it, even though I could be put to death for doing it, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. And if I die, I die.
Right.
That's the spirit you got to have, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had the righteous spirit to say what she said, man, which makes her so honorable, and we commemorate her, and we commemorate Mordecai, we commemorate this time period where they stood up You understand? And they didn't allow, she didn't allow her queenship or whatever power she was given. You know what I'm saying? You get a lot of times, you give women some power, and they will power trip on you, man. Will power. I mean, all you gotta do is go work. Go to your slavery, and guarantee you, if there is a woman, a sister especially, if she up in there and she's the supervisor, manager, she is gonna power trip on you. Ain't gonna care about nothing you got to say. Nothing you got to say or what you got to do. You understand? And this sister right here, she didn't power trip. She didn't power trip. She remembered who she was, and she did what Mordecai told her to do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And Mordecai guided her. The Lord was with her, and she was able to persuade this king, which we're going to get into later on. Keep reading.
Verse 17. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him.
Good. Hey, Salakia, Mark, come up here real quick. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. Oh, 1 second. Pass this over.
Verse 1. Esther 5 and 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house, and the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house over against the gate of the house.
You understand? So this is just saying, of course, Esther, you understand, she put on a royal robe. Meaning, you know, this wasn't just a, you know, how they say it in the hood, a house coat. You understand? This was something royal. This is something that was top of the line, man. And of course, you understand, you gotta look within the time frame of who she was dealing with, man. You understand? I'm pretty sure, man, that robe probably had diamonds and pearls in it, and whatever the case may be, you understand, a little space, you understand, to you know, to show off her curves or whatever the case may be. Just for the king, man. This was a royal robe, man. You understand? Let's go and keep on reading.
Verse 2, Esther 5 and 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out Esther the golden scepter.
He did what now?
He held out the golden scepter. That
like,
was...
just like, you want to say something, sir? Go ahead.
So like I was gonna say, she must have had been looking bad as
right.
in the bad as
right,
bad
exactly.
as in the bad.
Right.
For him to see her in the courtyard and he was just like, here you go.
Right, you understand? He just handed over his riches just like that, man. I mean, like, just think about, you understand? You said, I mean, like, think about, you know, one of the baddest chicks out here in America right now, man. You understand? And you just looking out, you know, from your front porch, and you see it from afar. You're like, hey, good night, man. Here go $1,000, sis. You understand? And $1,000 with a sister these days, that's gonna get you a long way, man. You understand? You understand? Especially a sister in the world. You understand? That's gonna get you a long way, man. Just like, sir, I'm plastic guys back there. Person officer, not side.
The one.
Sir.
Christ. All right.
And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in the sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter.
He held out the golden scepter. Why? Because he didn't want to put her to death, man.
That's right.
He loved that woman. He loved that woman. She was bad, man. You understand? And in the law, he was supposed to have put her to death. But he had the choice to either put her to death or to allow her to live. He stuck out that scepter. Go ahead.
The golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
And she drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Right? It was a sign of respect. Go ahead.
Sir. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is it thou request? And it shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom.
What is it that you request? What is it that you want?
Wow.
I'll even give you half of the kingdom. Man.
God, man, good.
And to this day, I be trying to like imagine how beautiful this woman is.
Wow.
Because this is a king over, you know what I'm saying? All of these provinces, a great king, you know what I'm saying? And he's ready to give half of his kingdom up to her, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. You understand? Like, that's just crazy. Go ahead.
It's like, so I was just gonna say, and that's the power of a sister who follows the Most High.
Damn right.
That's the power. And sisters that are in the world don't understand the true power that they have. They think their box and the fake hair, the fake eyelashes, and the body is what makes them attractive. But what makes them attractive is a sister who follows the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
Damn right. Give my hand.
That's right, exactly right.
Damn right.
That's right.
Keep going.
And, verse 4.
Put your hand down, Sarah.
And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet.
So this is the request that she had. All right, the request that she had, you understand, for the king was that you come to this banquet. She gonna let him know what's up. You know what I'm saying? She gonna let him know what's good.
That's right.
Or whatever. But right now she's saying, you and Hammond come to the banquet. I'm gonna have a little party for you. You know what I'm saying? A little get together, a little whatever. And I want you and Hammond to come on out, right?
Right.
Sister was just smooth with it. She just full of wisdom. She knew exactly how she was gonna do this thing, man.
That's right, sir.
And it's like Mordecai. It's like in this position you'd be thinking, well, Mordecai had known that if this, you know, how beautiful this broad is and how she was able to finesse that king the way she was, that she was gonna be a real good asset to Israel, man. That's why he stuck close with it. Like that's how I would have thought of it. Go ahead.
She was a Proverbs 31 woman that followed what Mordecai said and the Most High said, so she can receive what the Lord said to direct her and guide her in the proper answers for what she needed in front of that king.
Damn right. Give him a hand. Keep reading.
Verse 4. And as answered, it seemed good to the king. Let the king and Haman come this day, the banquet hall that I have prepared for him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said.
He sent the servants to go get Haman and told him to hurry up and get ready and get prepared for this banquet.
Right.
You understand now? You know, Haman is a high official.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this woman goes in there and makes this request. You know what I'm saying? The king extends his scepter to her, and she makes this request, and he's rushing Haman to get ready for this banquet for this woman.
Right.
I'm telling you, man, she had to be a bad sister. Like, she just had so much power, man.
God.
So much power. Right? Keep going.
And the king said, cause Haman to make haste,
Mm-hmm.
that he may do as Esther hath said.
Mm-hmm.
So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And the king said unto Esther, at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted unto thee.
You understand? So now they're at the banquet. You know what I'm saying? They're drinking fine wine and eating good food. And now he's saying, what are you asking for? What is it that you want? What you want me to do for you, baby? You know what I'm saying? With your beautiful self, because you know that's what you're thinking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And what is it thou request?
What is it that you request? What is it that you want from me? Go ahead.
Even to the half of the kingdom, it shall be performed.
Well, he keep telling her that I'll even give you half of the kingdom.
Wow.
I'll give you half of this kingdom. Go ahead.
Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them.
Go ahead.
And I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
Salakia, I was ahead of it. They ain't at the banquet yet. She's still requesting the banquet. Salakia. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Then went Haman forth that day joyful,
Mm-hmm.
and with a glad heart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we. Because he just walk around talking about, yeah, you know, the king and the queen invited me to a banquet. He over there flexing, telling his wife and kids and everybody, yeah, you know, the king invited me and my wife, you know, to a banquet. You know, it ain't nothing, but you know, I'm going anyway. You know, it's all good. He was just flexing on him, man. He was happy about that. Go ahead.
But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved him, he was full of indignation against
Man,
Mordecai.
here we go again. Just Esau's jealous spirit, man.
Wow.
Just, oh God, just a power trip. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he already know that it's part of their custom not to bow to no man. You know what I'm saying? And he
right.
just, but he just wanted, he can't stand it, man.
He
can't stand it. It just hurts him to his core. Go ahead,
And Salaki, sir, Esau is such an evil bastard.
That's right.
Because he still wanted Mordecai to bow down to him, even after he made the decree to kill all of Israel. It's like, you already made a decree you want to kill all my people, but you still want me to bow down to you? What else do you want from me?
Man, come on, man. And you think a man, give him a hand. You think a man is going to want to bow down to you knowing that you the man responsible for killing my people or trying to kill my people? You a damn fool. I'm going to die in a couple of days anyway, right? So what the hell am I going to bow to you now
That's
for?
right. That's right.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh' wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above all. Advanced him above the princes and the servants of the king.
I'm sorry. Go. Which scripture or which verse are you on?
That was verse. Maybe I need to go back to verse 9, sir. Verse 9. Then, verse 9, sir.
Okay, so go ahead.
Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Verse 10. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends.
Meaning, when he restrained himself, meaning he didn't go after, he didn't do nothing more. He was angry, but he restrained himself. He didn't go after Mordecai, which probably wouldn't have been a good thing at all anyway. You know what I'm saying? This is a man who you about to kill his people. You coming at him incorrect, he might do something to you. That's just like these powerful soldiers in the ISUPK. You come and harm any hair on any one of our arguments.
That's right.
You gonna be meeting the Most High. You're gonna be meeting him early. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
He sent and called his friends and Zeresh' wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and the servants of the king.
So he's just boasting about all of his upcomings. You know what I'm saying? Him being promoted, how much the king values him. You know what I'm saying? Everything. He's just boasting about all of it, man. His wealth, his children. You know what I'm saying? The honor that was given to him, man. You know what I'm saying? How he was promoted over all the officials that made the top man, like the big man in the situation. Go ahead.
Haman said, verse 12. Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared, but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king.
You understand? He bragging about how I got to sit down with the king and the queen by myself. There was no other man. Yeah, I must be special. He was trying to boast about being special. Like, yeah, the king, they seen honor in me. They had me in there by myself. We was good. And we was eating and everything, just doing good. Go ahead.
Yet all of this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
Because that's all he cared about right there. Because that's all he cared. He said all of that availeth him nothing because he sees Mordecai. You know what I'm saying? He could just really continue on, with his power and his advance, his promotion and all of that and just be happy. But just like Esau is not content. He's not content. He wants to keep adding to destruction until he destroys his damn self, man, which is what he's doing right now in this kingdom.
That's right,
He's
sir.
destroying himself. He trying to go to war with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. He's about to go to World War III once again, and he's about to be destroyed on this earth.
That's right.
Not only by these other nations, but also by the chariots of the Most High, man.
Right.
You understand? Give that a hand. You understand? And then you understand? And so, but he wants to still do harm to Mordecai, even though he got all of this power and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He just wants more. He's just greedy, man. Go ahead.
That's right. Verse 14. Then said Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon.
You understand? If you go and like she even heard, you know what I'm saying? Even his wife is sitting there plotting against this man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Just hate him. Go ahead,
Like, so he had himself a Karen.
Had him a Karen. Karen, but if she was a Karen back in that day, she would have been side-eyeing him. She would have wrote a letter to him. This man is not bowing. She would send it to the king, just like how she would call 911 today. You know what I'm saying? She's sending letters to the king about how he ain't, come on, man. She just was evil as he was, man. Go ahead.
Let the gallows be made 50 feet cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou to the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily. Then go thou in merrily with the king and unto the banquet.
Sit up.
And the thing pleased Haman, and caused the gallows to be made.
You understand? And so the advice that his wife gave was to go and kill this man, put him to death. You know what I'm saying? To create these gallows, to create this thing to hang them on, man. You know what I'm saying? And it pleased his evil, wicked heart. You understand? And he did, and that's what he had set up. He had something, a contraption built, you understand, to have this man killed, man. Because he wanted him dead. That bad. You know what I'm saying? He was going to go to the king once again and say, well, look, you gave me power to kill the Jews. Let me kill Mordecai. He ain't nothing, no way. What we need him for?
Nice.
Go ahead.
Right, so he wanted to hang Mordecai just like Edomite from the 50s, from the 60s. He, in his heart, that country spirit came out.
That's right.
It did.
Hang that nigga.
Hang him.
Right. Exactly right.
He don't bow to me, hang him.
Hang him.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's why it's crazy, man. It's like, it just reminds me too much of that story you brought up about that NFL player, man. That woman, you saw the true nature of Esau come out when that sister did not bow to him.
Damn, cool, Salaya.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You about to say something?
Salaya, I didn't even think about that, but that is like, that's the same thing. Esau has that same spirit. Like the sister didn't want to bow down to him, and that devil did exactly what his forefather wanted to do to Mordecai.
Damn right.
But with her being a woman, he knew it was more easier to put his hands on her. Like Haman knew he couldn't just put his hands on Mordecai.
Right.
Mordecai, in order for him to be a servant of the king, he had to be skilled in some type of form of defense. They just not gonna let anybody come be a guard at the king's gate.
Right.
So Haman already knew, I just can't run up on Mordecai like that. You run up on Mordecai might two-piece, pull out the sword.
That's why the wisest thing he done did in this whole damn chapter was not go at him. You know what I'm saying? But he was probably looking at Mordecai the same way these cops look at a nigga walking up the street. God damn nigga, I can't stand him, man. Like he want to go and put some cuffs on him or find something on him. Man, the other day, me and Natsazar was out, man, and we was at AutoZone. I was getting some headlights for the car, and we had just came from the QT right down from it was off of Pleasantburg. We had just came from the QT right over there, and it was like the cops was all over the place in the area. So I'm up there in Advanced Auto getting these headlights. This brother comes in and he just looked like he was just like distressed kind of, right? And he was just like, man, it's like these cops always messing with me, man. I was like, well, what's going on? The brother was like, like it was, I guess it was word that somebody was stealing beers or whatever, and I was just walking, I was just coming from some area, you know what I'm saying, and they stopped me, questioning me, asking me if I stole any beer or anything. It's like, I can't even be just black walking around here, you know what I'm saying, because they think I'm around here stealing beer, and I'm just walking and minding my business, you know what I'm saying, and that's, you know what I'm saying, and that's just the spirit of the so-called white man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You about to say something?
I was gonna wait till you get done.
Yeah, that's just the spirit of the white man to like, that's why the scripture says they hunt us down in the streets, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
right.
basically what Hammond is doing is he wants to see this black man destroyed for what?
Right.
For obeying his own customs,
That's
for
right.
doing what's right towards his God.
God, sir.
Come on, man.
Good, nice.
Go ahead, out. You supposed to?
And so like I said, I was just gonna say, I want these devils are so scared. Two things happened. Me and this brother right here, we was at the gym working out. You know about devil called the police on us. Karen called the police on us while we were in the gym working out. While we was in the gym working out, she calls the police. Police comes in the door and starts questioning us.
Mm-hmm.
We heard this and that. This person said this and that. And then when it came out to be, you know, it was false, it was like, well, you know, let me get your badge number and everything.
Right.
Then they wanted to get terrified.
Man.
So after that happened, 3 weeks later, I go back to the same gym, I'm working out again. The damn police come through the door again, they started questioning me. I was like, what's the problem now? Have you seen a white female come in here? I was like, what? I asked him, I said, no, I'm not trying to seem like I'm, causing any problems. I said, but why are you asking me? I said, why are you asking me?
I remember you told me that boy, yeah, cool.
He was like, no, I'm just asking. I was like, no, I just came in the gym, but I said, it's more than just me. I said, why are you asking me? And I wanted to ask you, I look like I talk to Edomite women. You know what I'm saying?
And he probably would have said, yeah.
Yeah, they like, you look like you might like a big
Man, come on, man. That's just a horrible thing to have to go through. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, this brother was in the world. You know what I'm saying? And he had to go through that. You can imagine. See, we in the truth. You know what I'm saying? We know what profiling look like and sound like. You know what I'm saying? And we know when they trying to do what they do, and we know how to be disciplined.
That's right.
In the situation. But you know, a brother out in the world, you know what I'm saying, he get in a situation like that, you know, ain't no telling what kind of stuff that goes on in his mind after witnessing the true nature. And it's a good thing though.
That's right.
Because brothers and sisters need to know that these are our enemies.
God.
You understand? Natazah, be quiet, Natazah. You're too loud, brother. Go ahead.
Verse 1, Esther 6 and 1. On that night, could not the king sleep? And he commanded to bring the book of the records of Chronicles. And they were read before the king.
So he couldn't sleep. So he had the laws. He wanted the laws, or he wanted you understand, the laws that he stated, the history of himself, of the things that he's enacted.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying, to be read. He wanted the book of the Chronicles, you understand, to be read to him so he could know, you know, the things that transpired. And he could remember the things that transpired in his rule as the king. Right? Read on.
And as they were, verse 2, and it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on King Ahasuerus.
You understand? And they read in the records where it was recorded that Mordecai, remember in the beginning of the chapter, you know what I'm saying, it was Mordecai had basically saved the king's life.
That's right.
You understand? Because he reported to Esther, you understand, that there were two guards who were planning on assassinating, you understand, King Ahasuerus. Read on.
Verse 3, and the king said, what honor and dignity had been done to Mordecai for this?
What did we reward? What did we give Mordecai for this great honor that he did? What did we do for him? Oh, it's already 9 o'clock, man. Y'all let me go over the time.
Good.
I didn't even realize it's 9 o'clock. You understand? It was getting good. Well, I'm going to finish this off and then we're going to stop it. We'll pick back up on it tomorrow.
God, sir. And the king said, what honor and dignity has been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servant to the minister and ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing was done for Mordecai for what he did, man.
God.
And what we're going to do is we're going to stop right there. We'll pick back up tomorrow at 7 o'clock at night. You understand? The feast day is from Thursday sundown to Friday sundown. You understand? And all you brothers and sisters, make sure y'all be out here. There's going to be more food tomorrow. You understand? We're going to have some things cooked up real nice or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And y'all make sure y'all bring y'all family, you know, if y'all want to, you know, to come and be part of the feast or whatever. You know, so I'm going to pass the class over to priest and officer Mardaki.
All right, Most High in Christ. You understand? ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, star of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from their head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can read about this in Numbers chapter 18, verses 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the church department and teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for a priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. And of course, we are keeping hold to the traditions of our forefathers right now. We are in PURIM. We do have a second day of PURIM tomorrow, Friday, February 26th. And of course, you can read about that in Esther chapter 9, verses 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school will start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, and headband. With that, brothers, Amajim, which means stand. We're going to give one courteous salute. Just the brothers right now, sister. Shalai.
Men of Israel, Aman Shabbat, Ayimajim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Barakatah. Sar, Shalai Amajim. Sar, sister stand. Sister stand.
Ladies, stand up.
Brothers, we're going to Sar, turn to the sisters. Men of Israel, Aman Shabbat, Ayimajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Atah Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Y'all say Yahweh, Shamar, Atah, Ba'ashim, Yahushua.
Yajibatah, dismissed.